let's discuss this. Out of all the greats we talk about in our world today, which one of them in a certain period of their life didn't feel they were rejected? Not even by society, even by people closer to them. Because that's where it stems from.
Yeah, I don't think I can name.
One thing you should know about rejection is that anywhere you sense the atmosphere of rejection, there are people who are in that circle that haven't been able to do whatever you want to do. If that is the case,
Think of myself as very small, very thin, very lanky, very tiny. They used to call me Atom.
I know you don't understand the things that I'm saying. I just to say it anyway. I cannot put it all away. This means a lot to me. This means a lot to me. It's family time.
there is a saying that you are an average of the 5 people that you spend your time with.
You know, I heard this thing just yesterday.
Hmm.
No, I've heard it before, but I was listening to a message from a man of God, Apostle Emmanuel.
Iran. Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I was listening to his message yesterday, and he made that statement.
Okay,
He
so
was like, "You are the-"
I didn't really hear for it, but I read it from Dr. Bounce Bodro. So he was like, on average of the 5 people you spend your time with. So I was like, association also impacts on your way of thinking. And I think, I don't know, but I can say for a fact that as we sit here and do this week in, week out, you are rubbing off me, I'm rubbing off you in a very positive way that we are sharing insights. And I think the association is making me being better as a person. So I appreciate you for always being here and doing this. It's a real pleasure doing this with you.
You're welcome.
So we are talking about rejection today.
I think today you are going to do most of the talking, as we said for our previous video, because we are talking about rejection. So yeah, I think you come bearing a lot of stories. So how
I
would you want to set the ball rolling
Okay. So
today?
I really think rejection is in a form of how we interpret it with our experiences. So one thing we should know before we even delve into the conversation is that rejection actually doesn't define you. And it doesn't define you. It doesn't tell how important you are. It doesn't show your real worth. So it is a phase in life that we really need to define whether it's going to help us go through our purpose or it would derail us. So what I understood this that with rejection, it comes with an aspect that you don't actually find your purpose because it's something that is already inside of you. So how do you reveal your purpose or how do you live your life through your purpose so that we can actually, enjoy your value or what God deposited in you when he was creating you or making you? Because what I understand is this: anytime there is a creation, okay, there is a purpose for it, there is a source for it. Okay, so there is something peculiar about AJ that you only have the license to solve. Okay, it was something you were given. This one is not like a skill you could learn. There is a certain or there is a particular type of problem which is, you know, associated with this cosmos that we live in, that you only have the ability, you have the code to solve that kind of problem. So you are special, even as you were created. You being here, belonging to arguably the 4 billion people that are existing on this cosmos, you are special.
Yeah.
You are not here because you get to be here by
Not
chance.
by an accident.
Yeah. So that one should establish your real purpose. So we should lay that foundation down that even if you feel worthless listening to me at this moment, even not hearing the full skeleton or the forefront of the conversation, you should know that you are actually special, getting to live and hearing this at this particular point in time in your life.
Not by chance.
Okay. So that should just waken you up, or that should awaken your spirit. It should tell you something that you getting to hear this at this particular point in time. Being glued to your set, whichever device you are using to watch this right now. You are lucky and you are special in your own way, in your own way of thinking, your own approach to life, and in your own set of values that you've put together that is regulating your life up to this point. So, you making it to this point, you should feel like there is a space for you in this cosmos. And that is a point that you shouldn't let anybody talk you away from, or any situation define that for you. So that is what I would say, just to get the conversation rolling.
So I think if I understand you, how what you said leads to our topic right now is that if people can understand how valuable they are and how needed they are at this
Right.
particular point in time, even when rejections come, they can still stand up and know that if I was rejected at this place, this second place could work for me.
Yeah.
I'm accepted somewhere else, and my value may not be needed by you. You may not really see the relevance of my value, but it's
Right.
not because I am bad.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay, that is interesting.
So you see that, let's at times look at the root of rejection in this particular setting. So I really think family breeds communities. Okay, so communities actually build the sense of human existence as we know today, but it really starts from families. So the root of rejection, okay, if we really want to trace it carefully and to find out where it really stems from, it could really be from families background.
What do you mean?
So I really think your thought process and your ability to think is as a result of what you have accumulated all these years. So let me just make this example very brief. Okay, so if let me just use this. Okay, so my people lack knowledge. Okay, therefore they perish. Therefore I'll reject them, and I'll also reject their children. If we use that language in scripture alone, so what it's trying to say is that if you only know what you know, okay, if you only know what you know, then your children are as smart as you.
As you. Okay. Okay.
So I could say that you are an express portrait of your values, of what you learned and your thought process when you were young.
From your immediate family. And some people don't even grow beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come to realize that no, this there's a limit to what I can learn from the small family that I find myself in.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you find yourself in a community, you try to also learn what others surrounding you also believe in, the virtues and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move to a bigger community, a
Right.
workspace and all that. But if you limit yourself to just your family, what you are saying is that the extent of the knowledge that you accumulate is basically what you
Yeah.
see daily in your home.
Exactly. So there is a certain threshold. So for example, what you learned in your home, okay, what you learned, the values you picked up, everything you picked up, thought processes in processing any kind of decision in your life. So that means you reflect that in, on community. Okay, so community is going to be like a pool or like a big basin that we all deposit in. Okay, so community, we commune, the togetherness, like more or less like fellowship. So you bring, it's like, what do you have? What can you bring to the table? Kind of a relationship.
Yeah.
So you bring what you know. You bring what I know. Everybody bring what they have or what they know. So if the level of what I know is relative to what I am learning or what has been descended from me, from my parent, or whatever. That is what I'll bring to society. So if there is a certain threshold of thinking for a particular society, you see, it resonates with everybody.
Every single person that identifies with that. Yeah, it's true.
From the way they dress,
It's true.
the way they talk.
They respond to issues. Yeah.
So it could be like you will be an express portrait of where you come from. The moment you open your mouth, people will know this is where you come from. Or this person is associated with this kind of people or that kind of people. So this is not really a particular example, but it could be something to just broaden or heighten your understanding, like accent. The moment a Chinese person walks in and talk, not to say the Chinese people have bad accent. I'm just trying to say identification.
Identify where they are coming from, yeah, by what they say, how they say it.
So exactly, not trying to dispute or dishonor or disrespect any. I'm just trying to use it as a form of identification, just to support my argument. So that is where it really stems from. What you know and the level of thinking and the way you appreciate things really stems from there. I can give you a lot of examples. Okay, let's, for an example, okay, there is this special person in my life. Okay, very, very special. She grew up without the father not being around. We are taking it from the home setting. The father not being around and not really having a very definite and defined childhood that we will get to know, okay, that we all get to know or get to wish or want to get accustomed to. And upon hearing from this person, when they really get to open up to you, you really feel or understand what they lack. When it gets to a certain point of acceptance, confidence, acceptance and confidence, because both of these things really stem to rejection. If somebody feels rejected and they are all not accepted, there is no confidence for them to open up in society. They are always closed. They are always trying to distance themselves, or they don't really feel the need to even open up and get to know people and even get to associate. So I really felt that, okay, if you could feel like that, it doesn't actually mean that that is what you are. Somebody said, that's who I am. Perhaps that's not what you are. That is how you were trained.
What you've experienced over time.
So we have something in the mind called a neural pathway. I don't know if you know. So a neural pathway is like something that your mind is now accustomed to because it has been kind of like the mind has been trained to adapt to that way of thinking or that way of movement. So it's like that is what the mind knows. And the mind as it is, you could train it to do anything. So if that has become an acceptable way of thinking for you, the mind has also really created that pathway for you. And now you get to judge it that, okay, this is how I think, this is how I move, this is how I am. But basically, the true fact of the situation will be like, that is not how you think. That is what situation and life shaped you to be. So that, I really feel like people really define themselves through the mirror of what society throws at them. And they will be like, okay, I guess maybe because of how I think, because of how I talk, because I don't have, maybe I'm not rich or I don't come from a very respectable background. That is how I get to be treated. And maybe they have gone through that and now they have grown to understand it, that this is what it is or this is how it's supposed to be. Meanwhile, that is not the true essence of society. But they really, I would say maybe we're quite unfortunate to come from that particular, background or that particular jurisdiction. So they get to define life or they get to define anything they are going through the lens of what they have been through. Meanwhile, that is not entirely the case. So somebody like this, how do you think, or people really who really have this foundation of rejection, foundation of low self-esteem, how do you think we can help them create new neural pathways, a new way of thinking, which is not going to be very immediate, but over time, through consistency, constant practice, will get to start thinking different about themselves in terms of the way they feel about themselves and the way society sees them, because it also affects them and how you think they can position themselves in life.
I think it it's gradual and it's in stages, and
Exactly.
it starts from you yourself making a decision that you want to change. There are some people who accept that I cannot amount to that. They compare, no, this cannot be me. I don't think I can do. I mean, I've faced a lot of rejections. It's not really possible for me to come out. This is how I've always been. That's my personality. Like you said, that's how I am. That low self-esteem thing. But they accept that that is how they are, and they are not doing anything to change it. They are always trying to be pitied that that is how they are. But if the person comes to the realization, this is the situation I find myself in, I'm not confident, but I want to change, that's where the narrative changes. So it starts from you yourself deciding you want to change. When you were speaking, I remembered something. I said I don't have stories, but when you were speaking, all of a sudden I remembered that when I was young,
Bring them out. Bring them out.
I watched the movie Big Bang Theory, and there's this sarcastic woman, and she has a son, and someone wanted to ask like how her son used to behave when he was young.
Okay.
The son is smallish, even though he's grown up, he's smallish. So the lady asked the woman, how was Leonard like when he was little? The woman was like, do you mean when he was young? Because he's still little.
Yeah.
Like he's smallish.
Distinct.
Yeah.
As we,
When I was young, I was about to say when I was little. That's how come I remember that joke. When I was young, I was very tiny. This one shouting. That's why I said it's very small. Someone will tell me that you are still tiny. Please, I'm not tiny. I'm looking into
she's
the
cute.
camera. I'm cute. I'm not. So you see how the brain can rewire. I
Yeah,
used
sure.
to think of myself as very small, very thin, very lanky, very tiny. They used to call me Atom. Did you know that about 60% of the people who watch the Talking Drum podcast have not subscribed? Yes, if you are one of them, we urge you, we plead with you to subscribe to our channel, share the link when the videos come out, and keep on liking the videos. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey. If you are not a science student or you weren't good in science, this one you understand. And I want to explain.
Atom.
They used to call me Atom.
But it's no offense, but it's perfect.
I hate it. I didn't like it. And like I think the whole class, I was this every class that I've been in, I've always been the smallest. And so I remember vividly throughout basic school from class 1 through to class 6. Sometimes I'll be busy minding my own business in class and someone will just come and hold my hand and do this.
Oh.
And there will be a very big gap between their fingers. So they'll be like, oh my God, I could fit a whole. And it used to really disturb me and bring down my confidence. Even though I was very smart, I didn't usually want to stand in front of the class or stand up to answer questions and stuff like that. I saw
Right.
myself as like a very small, shyish girl. I should be in my one corner.
Yeah.
The big girls should go in the front.
Oh.
And I mean, girls age faster than guys, but there were girls in the class who like really aged very fast, and I was still the same way I was. So, trying to catch up
Just
so
not.
bad, I wasn't catching up, and so it looked like I'm always like left out. I don't want to hang out with them because the guys would be like, "Hey, this one is she's small." So I was but at a point, if it continue growing up, I mean, through university, I mean, they'll keep making fun of you. Oh, you're small. Hey, you're this, but after some time, even at workplace, like I mean, people would make they don't know how much like those words could,
Affect
because
you or
it's
break you.
something you are actually trying to get over and stuff like that. And at a point, I saw myself now. No, I'm not small. Like I stopped saying I'm small for a long time. Like you point out, I'll be like, no, I'm not. I'm not small. The things I have within me, they are mighty.
Yeah.
They can blow. Lawrence always
They
said,
can
I'll burn the world. I can burn the world. There are mighty things formed within me. I'm not small. And accepting that you are small, it may not only be the physical, but it will translate psychologically and make you think small. But your size or physical appearance does not limit you in any way. It does not define you.
Right.
But once you keep on accepting that, it will rewire your thinking and make you think small.
Small.
Because I remember there were times that I was so good on paper, but I would not speak up. So when they are going for quizzes, the teachers want to bet on me, but I
You couldn't bet on
that's
yourself.
the thing. I'm hiding. Oh, like the big girl. That's how I used to. So it takes sometimes. It will take people who really have confidence in you to push you for you to go. But if you don't get people like that, then you always remain small. So for anybody who thinks small, or or is in a state of low self-esteem,
Right.
first of all, you have to change your thinking. Changing your thinking is not only in the mind. You speak it in, you say it in your mind, and you speak it forth. Let your outer ears hear your mouth
Right.
say it. I'm not small. I have confidence. Proclaim things to yourself. And when you surround yourself with people who keep reminding you of something you are trying to get out of,
Yeah.
move away from such people. Because as long as they are still there, you take one step forward, and by their words, you go two steps.
10 steps backwards. Period.
That's it.
With what you were saying right now, okay, it comes to society shaping your self worth and let's say registering or validating your identity. Okay, so rejection. One thing you should know about rejection is that anywhere you sense the atmosphere of rejection, there are people who are in that circle that haven't been able to do whatever you want to do. If that is the case, or be whoever you want to become, or have the guts to be you in a simple sense. Okay, so it is always about dumping their failures, their fears,
Insecurity.
insecurities, and trying to belittle a bigger light. So let me tell you something. There's not something I really want to tell somebody. Let's discuss this. Out of all the greats we talk about in our world today, which one of them in a certain period of their life didn't feel they were rejected? Not even by society, even by people closer to them, because that's where it stems from.
Yeah, I don't think I can name.
So you see, rejection is like a tailor-made custom
Yeah.
that really it really goes with life, because as a great person, Dr. Miles Monroe said every great man would stand alone once in a point in their life. So it means that rejection is always kind of louder when people really have not dared to do what you want to do.
Very true.
It's always like that. And in my sense, even growing up, I felt it because I really kind of felt in school, back in school, there was this level of confidence. I really got up in the morning, and it's like what your brain tells you in the morning kinds of defines your whole day. I will go to school feeling confident that I am the best thing that ever happened to the school. I'm not sitting here saying it. I lived it. And that is how I made people define me to at a certain point. And you know, with that kind of confidence, that level of confidence as a young kid, the way you talk and the way you really carry yourself, people might actually feel is pride.
Yeah,
That's
pride
what they
and
were calling me. You are,
overconfidence.
oh, God, you are very proud. You always want to feel like you can do everything
But you
you
can
want.
do everything.
So they will kind of shut that down. It wasn't only coming from students or my like people closer to me. It used to come from some teachers to some teachers, not all of them, because the ones who really groomed me gave me that kind of confidence to do what I used to do. But some people will be like, "Oh, why are you too proud? You feel like you can do everything. Who the hell do you think you are?" Type of thingy. But when it really comes to the real deal, there is only one name they will call, and it is yours. They know they can't do what you do, but they will still try to shut you down. Not because they really think it's a bad thing necessarily, but they know they can't be you.
Can't be
And
you.
they are also trying to communicate their feelings at their level of their ignorance. You see, sometimes ignorance is very loud in society that it breeds everything and it gets to paint pictures for people. There are some people who really have anxiety attacks, low self esteem, just because of something society really projected on them. You have a big nose. I recently heard a story of a TV analyst or a broadcaster, a presenter who was having a low self esteem for a long period of time because of her, the shape of her ears. Because it looks very, I don't
Why are
know how
you
to say it,
laughing?
but like, it was something that was making her stand out. It's distinct. You look at her face, you just capture the picture
Yeah.
of her face. You just know that her ears are really standing out because it has a different shape. And she said she started wearing wigs because she wanted to hide the ears and all that. But you see, he said she was trying to say down the years, going down the line. That was what was drowning her confidence. She really didn't feel she could mingle with people because everybody used to talk about the ears, how bad they look, and how ugly it made her feel. So fast forward, upon she said she had really been good in speaking back at home when she was speaking to the mirror every morning, recording a video of herself. She knows she kind of felt how eloquent here. There was a spirit or there was something in her like yelling out that you need to do this. You need to be in journalism. That is you. But because of how she felt or how she looked, it was really drowning her confidence and it was the big stumbling block in her achieving her dream. So fast forward, they applied to this media production company, a big one in Ghana. If I mention the channel, I think a lot of people will probably know the story that I'm talking about. But so upon reviewing the applications and the video interviews, the person employing kind of saw that there's something different about you.
Special.
It was about your ears. So it
Mm.
was about the same ear. It was like so they reached out to her, not even because she was the best or the most eloquent or like the best presenter. The man who was employing her said that, you know what, I want you to come to the office because I saw something about your ears. My daughter's ears looks exactly like yours.
Wow.
Your ears, I saw your ears. I was like, that's my daughter's ears. So it was like I took a particular interest in your
Those
interview.
ears.
So fast forward, she came and was employed, and the rest is history. So the same thing that was holding her out of society, the same thing that was her her insecurity, her loudest insecurity, now became her biggest announcer. So in life, whatever can be your biggest insecurity can also be what is taking you out there.
Yeah, and you would never know if you keep on curling yourself up and not coming out because people are going to speak about every single thing, what you do, how you look. Meanwhile, they've never created
You
anything.
know, I this is not about, let's say, necessarily making fun of people, but trying to identify people by how they look or how they do things. Some people just love to talk. Not We have talking as a skill, and somebody who cannot keep his or her mouth shut is two different things.
Two different
Some
things.
people are very eloquent and have this confidence of, doing public speaking. Let's, you know, most importantly that. And people who really like are inquisitive and want to really say, want to talk at every expense. You know, school, I used to get flogged for talking, even when I wasn't even speaking.
Even when you were not speaking.
Every names of talkative back, it's a big deal back there. It's a really big deal from where we come from. But you see, when I will have my name written when I didn't even come to school, and the next day it was like, your name is on it. Did you come to school? I was like, I wasn't even here.
Why? Was it because you're notorious?
I was never notorious, but I was never quiet. I can't keep mute. It's not because
No, I don't think you changed though.
that is something on me. I try to. I think I now know how to channel it to do the right
Are you
thing.
sure? Okay, that I agree. I thought you were coming to say you now know how to.
Because at times you will see me and I'll be going, it's like, today what's happened? The energy is down because you don't
So
know
I would ask, is everything okay?
because you know,
Some people no, I admire people who are able to speak because like speaking is I don't like it so.
Oh, my mom used to be like, hey, you why?
You won't keep quiet.
My mom would be like, oh, what they was saying, come on, meaning that you always want to disrupt the conversation because it's like I wouldn't keep quiet to hear the other person's opinion. So that was quite something. But they still say it to today. So when maybe we are talking to I call the family and we are all talking, and that thing will kind of just stand. And when something funny comes, it's, hey, my brother, keep quiet and let us hear what the other person also has to say. You'll be like, oh, why do you do me like that? So I really feel like setting the record straight, society shouldn't define or determine your self-worth or your confidence. Anything that you want to do that involves greatness, that involves your purpose, there are always going to be major stumbling blocks. And the stumbling blocks, I call it the wind of chaos. It will always come when you are trying to be established in your calling. So the wind of chaos happens everywhere, even from creation. God created the world out of chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, without form and void, that is the biggest chaos. But he called order out of chaos. So everything that you are going through, when you see chaos, it's not a form of you hiding, or it's not something that should be a point to increase or loud your insecurity.
Yeah.
It should be an opportunity for you to shine.
It's even an indication that you are up to something. That there are a lot of people making noise about you means, I mean, you are actually important. There's something you are not just as good as dead.
Okay.
It is someone valuable that we talk about. It is someone who
Pain.
has something up and about that people will look and, I mean, try to bring you down. So if you have that, you said wind of chaos, then it means actually you are up to something good and you shouldn't try to.
Madam, to be honest with you, this discussion of rejection, I think you said I should stop calling you mother, but I can't help it. It's so I think we would have to discuss the other aspect in terms of giving key pointers and examples, relatable stories where people can really use it as a form of breaking out of that shell. When it comes to rejection, okay, there is another side of rejection that we need to tackle. As I said, key pointers in how people are going to understand that society doesn't really define them. So how do they do it? How to break up? The how to. And I think it's what we are going to look in going forward in the podcast. So what would you have to say to anybody who would listen to this take and prime their minds on what to expect or on how to break out of rejection?
I mean, at this point, if you are watching and you've reached this point, then I don't see why I shouldn't continue with the next video because that is where we are going to actually share the stories.
Yeah.
Story time. It's in the next episode after this one.
Yeah.
And before we get into the next episode, I just want to admonish you that don't let the society or the people around you talk you out of something good or great that you
Right.
have ongoing.
Right.
You are special, you are unique. God created you, placed you here for a reason and a purpose. Never undermine that. And if people are going to reject you, that's okay. It's part of life. But what you do, how you handle or take the rejection is what matters. And if I were you, I would not coil in and stay back indoors and lose my confidence, but I would shake the dust off, get up, and get going. And so this is how we sign out for today. Thank you so much for watching the Talking Drum podcast, and see you on the next episode.
All right. So the analytics shows us that a greater percentage of you will listen to our show haven't subscribed. So if you like this show and you really want to help us, the best free way to support us is to hit the subscribe button. And if you do so, I promise you that we, the Team on TV podcast, will make this show better for you week in, week out. We will listen to your feedback and we will continue to do what we do. Thank you.